There's been a further leak of the official review ordered by the Prime Minister into the viability of HS2. As we reported here on ITV News Central last November, it's believed the report will say the costs have doubled and the line beyond Birmingham to the north should be scaled back.
This afternoon, HS2 Ltd confirmed that it's making redundancies. We'll have more on that in a moment. But first, let's go to Westminster. Our political correspondent Alison Mackenzie has been looking at the leaked report. And Alison, does this mean that the HS2 project is derailed then?
No, it doesn't mean that. This leaked report in the Financial Times paper says that according to Oakervee, he will report that the project should go ahead, but big question marks over the scale of that section of the route beyond Birmingham, north to Manchester and then up to Leeds. Apparently, according to this report, he will say there should be further studies about the economic impact, the regional benefits. He wants that to be clear. And of course, concern over the 20% increase in the cost of HS2 spiralling up to 106 billion. Well, that concern expressed hasn't impressed the transport lobby group Midlands Connect.
Well, today's report is not the Oakervee report, it's just a leak from a draft report that none of us have seen the real thing, none of us have seen the final. If government want to start thinking about leveling up the economy, if they want to say about transformational investment in infrastructure, the revolution of infrastructure investment, this is what HS2 represented for the Midlands and the North, and in particular here in the Midlands, when we're already seeing the benefits, like here in Birmingham.
Well, concern there for Midlands Connect. Well, one man who's always described the whole project as a white elephant is Joe Rukin. He's also read this further leaked report today. He didn't exactly say, "I told you so." This is his response to what has been written.
It's absolutely no surprise that HS2 is now being touted as being over 100 billion, because all we've seen over the last 10 years is the costs go up and up and up and the benefits go down and down and down. And now we're 3 times over the original budget. Just think where this thing will end up if they have the stupidity to go ahead with it.
It's the Prime Minister who will make the final decision when he finally publishes the Oaker review. I was at a number 10 briefing today. They say, yes, they've seen the leak. They don't comment on leaks. They say Oakervee has been charged with finding all the full facts that they'll then report on. And they say that will happen within weeks.
Well, Alison, thank you. And that's the details of the leaked report. But this afternoon, HS2 Ltd confirmed to ITV News Central that they're making a number of people redundant.
Well, our business correspondent Mark Goff joins us in the studio now. Mark, you've been speaking to HS2 Ltd. The news of these redundancies, the timing of it is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people are very interested in the timing of this. I certainly was, which is why I called HS2 this afternoon. A source had told me that redundancy notices, 90-day redundancy notices had been issued, which is kind of quite interesting, because if it's a 90-day notice, it means more than 100 people are being made redundant. So I called HS2, asked them to confirm the figure. They couldn't. Eventually I pushed them a bit more and they said it's probably going to be a couple of hundred. As for the timing of when this was, when these redundancy notices were issued, they said they didn't have any information on that. They couldn't tell me when that was. But what they did say was that this was kind of normal business practice to restructure a business when it's going through a period of change. And what they're doing now, they say, is they're going from like the preparatory stage of HS2, where they're preparing places like Curzon Street Station in Birmingham, into the construction phase of this operation. And what they say is they're going to make HS2 simpler, more flexible and more efficient as they move into that construction phase. In relation to the timing, I asked them obviously about the Oakervee review, and they said this is completely unrelated to Oakerview, and the redundancy process, when they first started talking about it and thinking about it, predated when Douglas Oakervee was appointed to the review, which was in August last year. Some people who are facing redundancy may be redeployed into other jobs. They say that as the construction phase gets underway, more jobs could be created. But at the moment, of course, this is yet more controversial news about a controversial project.